What's going on, boys? Thanks to our patrons and Fiverr customers, subscribe to our Patreon free for behind the scenes stuff. Arm yourselves, life stuff. You know, this is the Roman funny numeral, and I was going to make this one a bit of a joke, but I don't think I should. 434. April, order development 30, 13th. 1 plus 4 is 4. Maybe that's 434. Maybe this is the 434 we've been building up to. Remember a while ago, we felt like something was going to change. I'm wondering if that change is one of these perspective shifts, moving from understanding something to knowing something. And what might we change from understanding into knowing? Zero tolerance. And not just in relation to Abrahamic religions. You think reason is something you share with people. I don't think that's the case. I'm beginning to think reason is something you aim at problems at best, quotes, and wield against people at worst, quotes. In either case, it's not an equal sharing, understanding thing. If you're someone who's been around this channel for a little while, and you consider yourself someone who looks for reasons to stay around here, rather than looking for reasons to leave, look at the world you live in. Look at people. Do you think you can reason with any of them? Trying to reason with any individual is like stepping in a bear trap, thinking that's going to help you on your journey wherever you're going. At best, all they're going to do is waste your time. At worst, they're really going to fuck your life up. And that's just an individual. Think about groups of people, or cultures or subcultures. It's been a while, but I was listening to some incel core today, and I noticed something. That entire group of people, that entire outlook, is the fat, dumb version of normies, of cookie cutters. You were trying to be normal and fit in, and you failed, and now you're applying normie think to other failures. The subject might be different, but the strategies are the exact same shit you'd see in normal people circles. For the most part, they are bug people. And we mentioned it last time, it takes a little while for you to realize you're seeing the same things wearing different faces now. You remember when Bugman applied almost exclusively to Redditors to Wholesome 100 types? Now, it's like if you're playing a game, every faction, every circle has Bugmen in them. Most of them are Bugmen. They're using different words or referencing different memes, but again, the strategies are all the same. I've watched a few videos from a channel called Shredded Nerd in probably the last 3 or 4 months. And that channel was interesting, but it was annoying me on some low frequency level I couldn't put my finger on. But it clicked today. That whole sphere, and it's not limited in any way to this one channel, that whole thing is the right-leaning version of Bugman. And thinking back on it, this isn't a new thing. Do you remember, thinking about 2016 a lot, do you remember Vox Day? What an embarrassment that dude was, that entire little sphere? They were Bugmen. They've always been Bugmen. They gather up different sets of ideas like ropes and hooks, and then all rope one another down. They should be roping each other up, but roping each other down. And then acting like this is some kind of victory. Like this is some big strategic move, and they're gonna make it. They're closing in on the win. They're gonna own the libs. But all they do is talk, keeping one another down and in line, and teaching them that's a good thing, while supporting people who actually have power. And again, this is not limited to this weird right-leaning Bugman thing. This is the Bugman game. There's no point in reasoning with anybody. You'll never get what you want trying to reason with people who exist to ensure only a few people get what they want, while justifying their lives getting worse, they're getting fucked over. We talked about this last time. Or maybe it was the time before that. I think the best thing an individual can do is apply his or her reason toward developing enough whatever. We'll say power vaguely, but that could mean money or influence or some skill set that allows them to, when the time comes for getting what's there to get, you don't need to try to reason with people, and not just individuals, but groups, to try to get what you want. Because you're never going to get what you want trying to reason with people. Developing enough power to get what you want in spite of everything you're supposed to be concerned with. And to do that, you need to wield zero tolerance indiscriminately. Think, does what I'm focusing on raise my power level? If it doesn't, find something that does. But more importantly, if it does, then don't let people trick you out of it. And it seems like anytime anybody finds anything that increases their power level in a serious way, people will show up and try to get them away from whatever that power increasing instrument is. We said a long time ago you shouldn't have friends, especially if you're a dude. Male friends are the worst. Your dumb fucking friends will do everything in their power to get you away from anything that will take you to that next level. Every time. And I'm sure the methods and reasoning is a bit different with women, but it's all the same shit. Nobody from your class wants to see anybody else from your class get above. And I'm sure they're not consciously thinking about it. I'm sure they're not operating on a conscious level that would require sentience, but that's their instinct. We knew that a while ago. I think the change is knowing, going from understanding to knowing. Anyone who isn't with you is against you. And if you permit that, the consequences might take a while to show, but they will show. They will do anything it takes to rope you back into your Bugman status, your Bugman role, within whichever sphere you're part of. And the reason this is dangerous is because it's effective. Typologically speaking, TE and FE fill similar roles here, or act as the same vulnerability. People want to fit in. They want to feel like they're part of a tribe. They want to feel like they belong somewhere. And even if they understand, totally understand, that's a trap, it will still be a vulnerability until they know it's a trap. Until they know nothing good will come out of this. I've been feeling emotionally weird the last day or two. Like something is rolling and worming around inside. And I think this is a coming change. The evolution into knowing there is no way to make people understand, and there's no reason to try. There is zero benefit. There is only risk and danger and injury. And once you know this, it's like another governor gets lifted. Another restraint and limitation has been removed. This entire system within yourself is useless, and you can shut it off or cut it out and devote those resources now freed up to things that matter, like conviction and ability. Because that's another thing about conviction. I think one of the reasons people lack conviction is it's not, or there's a reason conviction and knowledge are two separate things. You can know something for sure, or in the vernacular we've been using lately, you can understand something for sure, but as long as you are concerned with the fact other people won't understand, and not even in a what they'll do to you sense, although they will do things to you if they don't understand, but more on an emotional level, you want them to understand, you want to feel understood, and you want to help. But you know that's not going to happen. But for some reason, you're still concerned about it, and that's where and why you lack conviction. You'll call it different things, it'll masquerade as different things, but you're still dealing with this need to be accepted or understood by a group. That's your greatest weakness. And I think it's because you've been so deeply conditioned, and it's reinforced daily. Constantly, people are reinforcing it, that you're all on the same side, or we're all one. Or if you want to get a little sharper, this in-group is the one that you're all connected with. You're not connected with any of them. You're not connected with humanity at large. You certainly aren't connected with this little in-group. You still think you're one of them, or you should be one of them, and therefore you want to be accepted and understood by them. Again, even if you're calling it something different or repressing it, I think that's what's going on. That's the weakness. And the knowing you're growing into is knowing they are not on your side. They won't accept you. They'll never understand you. They can't, and even if they could, they wouldn't want to, but they can't. Or maybe they understand you totally, and that contributes to why they're going to do everything in their power to keep you down, to keep you in line, to keep you weak. It's knowing they are not people. They, all of them, are organic logistical challenges standing between you and what you want or where you want to be. And I think once that switch flips, you can operate a lot smoother. How are certain sorts of people so comfortable playing the game of lying and fake empathizing, masquerading this and that, something that's... I can do it for a little while, but I can't do it long term because I just hate them so much. And that's part of the vulnerability, right? Because you hate them because you so badly want to humanize with them, to be humans with them, but they aren't humans. And once you know they aren't humans, you can deal with them the same way you deal with doing your taxes or moving heavy shit. It's a logistical necessity. There's no human element to it. And the reason you want to remove that human element is at every turn, as long as you allow it to exist, as long as you allow yourself to feel it, it will be used against you. And we aren't there yet, but we're getting really close. These are not people, these are things, and they want to make you into a thing. Why do you want to relate with an ant that wants to turn you into an ant so it can fuck you over better? Zero tolerance. I would say it's stopping letting people in, but again, they aren't people. Your vulnerability is entirely within yourself. You're hallucinating. You're in a dream world. You are unconsciously, involuntarily showing people you're nuts and then acting consciously hurt and upset and confused when people punch them. You are wasting so much of your energy and your life on an illusion. And that's where this video moves into two different directions, but both connected to this evolution. One, once that switch flips, what do we do? Because we are making our own in-group here. However, our goal is to be a bit less useless and to operate in service of whatever we're here to operate for or toward. Instead of getting stuck in any one of the millions of bear traps wearing different paint designed to keep you low. I think the first thing is to recognize if this switch flips, changes seem inevitable. And at the same time, I have a feeling we are going to get our opportunity at some point. And that's just a feeling. I'm sure tomorrow I'll feel we'll never get a break, get that big opportunity. But for right now, I feel we will. If we keep on trucking. Then you need to work out, if you're here listening to this, do you understand what I'm saying to you? Do you reflect it naturally in your actions? Or, in other words, are we on the same frequency? Are we receiving the same transmissions or close enough transmissions? If that's the case, then start power leveling. Or if not power leveling necessarily, then focusing, funneling these new resources you have available to you now into turning yourself into something greater. And what I mean by that is like the Chosen from Warhammer. You have for sure heard the call of whatever god you're here to serve. You've reached the point you don't just understand what you need to do, you know what you need to do, and you're immersing yourself in it because what else is there? Everything else is a lie or a trap or an illusion. And where did traps go? In the pronouns game, is that a she them or a she they she they now? Anyway, there's no point in trying to develop an order and a regiment and areas of focus and this and that. Generally, however you can, whenever you can, with this new awareness you've achieved, build your power level. You know group dynamics. Turn yourself into someone people turn to or feel threatened by, feel the need to target. You have skills, you have knowledge, you have resources, and although the distribution is definitely going to be different across all sorts of people, you've worked out how to use your distribution well. You're metagaming now. What is it? Hunter S. Thompson? In that video I talked about Thompson so much, I kept on calling him Thomas. In a democracy, you have to be a player. Become a player. Or Patrice O'Neill when he talked about his time in high school. A crowd, B crowd. A crowd were the celebrities of high school, and everybody else was the viewers at home watching what they did. Figure out how to become an A crowd person. Or in a show or a game, a character who's just been introduced, but you can tell, you can feel immediately by this character's, this individual's essence, they are not a side character. And that doesn't necessarily mean you spec into charisma and get your dumb fucking face in everybody else's faces, but you understand what I mean. You build your essence, you build your power, you develop your skills, your resources to the point when you want something, you don't need to reason with people or worry about it or talk about it. Or if there is talking involved, then talking on a human level, trying to accomplish something on a human level. You know the codes you need to enter to get what you want. That's what you need to figure out how to do. In your way. Focusing on how to do that. Unburdened by this bullshit. And then if you're someone who's not on this frequency, receiving these same transmissions, but are telling yourself you are, you need to tell other people you are, trying to fit in, but you're not fitting in, you're doing what the incels are doing, you're a failed normie who's attached yourself to this circle, but you won't fuck off. You, because you're not gonna fuck off, you will fuck off at some point. You'll turncoat at some point because you're not supposed to be here. You're here because you want to fit in somewhere, and this seems suitably interesting to you. You're a bag of chips. You have a shelf life. You're mostly air. It's not that hard to puncture you. You spill everywhere. You break inside if you aren't set down gently. You're wildly unhealthy for the body. You learn a particular, singular, and valuable skill. You don't have what it takes to become a leader of any sort. You lack conviction, but if you're going to be here for a while, figure out how to be useful. Bring something to the table. Or maybe if we want to do the big brain play, you be a bug man. You indoctrinate yourself, you indoctrinate your friends, and you keep yourself and others down while your betters feed on you. And overall, what we're doing here is preparing for that opportunity. I think it's possible for us to build our own little conclave in the world one day. Like Vito's Mall in The Godfather. Or like the Xanadu in The Last Dawn. But it's going to take the right moment and the right mindset, and it'll happen against people, not with them. And that's why Vito, true Vito, actual Vito is not anywhere near as much of a family man as he's presented to be in the movie. Book Vito, or books Vito, really interesting. The ones Puzo wrote anyway. What was the main reason Vito was opposed to Michael's serving in the military? I mean, Michael and Vito both understood Michael's joining the military was a fuck you to his father. That's what that was. But why was Vito so opposed to it being the military in particular? Because you're risking your life for a country and a population that hates you, that will not be there for you when you need it. And you see that perfectly in McCluskey, son of a bitch. You see it in Fredo, you see it in Sonny. Vito's family man shtick. It's confusing because I don't think it was completely a shtick, but that wasn't his core by any means. But this is not a Godfather video. We need to be ready to seize that opportunity when it presents itself. Seize it hard and ride it until the wheels come off. And then the second side. A bit of a departure, but one I think is equally important, but on a completely different frequency. So, we do left-hand stuff. We're very left-hand people here. I think what hit me the other day was a right-hand sort of feeling. And I always shit on right-hand sentiments because it's bullshit. We aren't all together. We aren't all one, but facts are facts, and sometimes you come upon a fact you can't do anything but marvel at and feel distraught by or distraught over. We need a dedicated, true positivity subsidiary. We have the black flag, we do black flag shit here, but a while ago, a long while ago now, I made a blue flag variant. I was thinking about that damnation thing, about the way no matter what a human does, or even a human can do, nobody ever has, ever will probably, deserve eternal damnation. And that's why Jesus as an individual still fucks me up, gets me emotional. Because whatever that sentiment is, whatever that comes out of, that is an indisputable point of both connection and positivity. Nobody can be so evil, no human can be so evil, can do enough evil to deserve eternal damnation. Maybe a lot of damnation, but not eternal damnation. There is some, however slight, common humanity between people. And even if you look at whoever you believe to be the worst person alive or the worst people alive, you can understand they deserve total damnation, eternal damnation. You can say they deserve eternal damnation. You can feel they deserve eternal damnation. But somewhere inside of you, you know that they do not deserve eternal damnation. Even if you felt they deserved eternal damnation and could damn them eternally and did damn them eternally, 13 million years pass, you're going to have a moment you go, shit. In eternity, no, that's not right. That's not right. And yank them out. And then, of course, don't talk to me. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about you. I never want to see you again. But nobody deserves eternal damnation. And when that clicked, I got really emotional. But also dreadfully confused. Painfully confused. Infuriatingly confused. And maybe it shouldn't be confusing because our lives are so short and so insignificant. You can and should hate people. You need to hate people. You need to view people as not human. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do all these black flag, left-hand path things while you're alive. Yet, simultaneously, there is an undeniable thread, however thin, of common humanity between people. Even if it's so thin and so not something that should connect you with anybody and not even something you want connecting with anybody, it's there. And then that makes you wonder, well, that turns everything into so many different questions. Like, why does that feel important? What does it mean? What does it imply? Is that what Christ was here to do? Both to put the kibosh on the eternal damnation bullshit and to remind humanity that nobody deserves eternal damnation, even though Christians got it so fucking twisted. Then if that is a fact, and it feels important, I think, because it is important, how important is it? How heavily should this factor into your daily, moment-to-moment human life dealing with humans? Because I can recognize that nobody deserves eternal damnation, but I would still give people a lot of damnation if I had my say. It's another big contradiction. And I'm sure this is something that can be... These are threads that can be pulled at and refined and figured out. I'm not anywhere close to that yet. But if this truth feels in conflict with this evolution we're approaching, although I don't think they actually are in conflict. Again, I think this is something we can work out, but even if there is a way to work this out, and these two things can coexist or complement one another, they still don't agree. They're still very opposed. And it fucks everything up because this blue flag truth is something that feels anyway right now so true it can't go uninvestigated. But that will fuck up all the arrangements. Now again, I am sure there is a way to do this, but I don't know how yet. Is this a digression you take now or later? My gut tells me investigating this, I feel certain lots of very good soul things will come out of investigating this blue flag truth. But I also feel certain it won't change anything about what people are, the way people are about this world, about what needs to be done, about what people deserve short of eternal damnation. I haven't located this blue flag stuff within our ecosystem yet, but it came out swinging and it's here now, and it's too true to shut out, try to ignore. What a curveball. Or are we unlocking new levels of the Archon Handbook? And our job is to figure out what to do with each piece as it's been revealed. I won't harp on this, but it's important to know it's here. And you are so lucky I didn't spend 30 minutes talking about pornography on the XXX video. However, 40 in Roman numerals is XL, so maybe we'll come back around. Maybe it'll be more appropriate then. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't.